Alright, my homies. This game has been bonkers in every way possible. Let's fast forward to live. We're going into draft. Oriana ban on blue side. SK Telecom now on blue side. Let's see how they solve the issue. Will they first pick Tristana? That is the thing we're predicting here. Sejuani first pick. Who freaking cares, man? It's just a woman riding a boar. Doesn't matter. Tristana has been so clutch in these games. Maybe we'll see another situation where Caitlyn comes in and that is the counter to Tristana. Wasn't too successful the last time with the Trundle. And of course Trundle is not that good against Tristana. Maybe we'll see some different approach. Lulu is the ban. Janna is still in the mix. Let's see if Misfits are going for the Janna as the last ban. Yes, they do. SK Telecom, will they first pick Tristana or will they first pick Sejuani? I think the way to go is to first pick Tristana. Tristana is just way too powerful in the series. There we go. SK Telecom with the first pick Tristana. Look, Fake is smiling. He knows what's up. I'm just kidding. Misfits now. Will they be able to throw some curveballs at SK Telecom with a potential last pick of support? SK Telecom can definitely just blind pick Braum and be happy with it, right? That's also something they could do. Misfits could go Sejuani and Jarvan to kind of freak SKT out with their pick, but I think Blank is happy to play Gragas at this point in time, and I don't think he needs to worry too much about his own champion pool. Blank is allowed to be clutch. Peanut is on the sideline. You know, Blank is the main dish. Peanut is just... Whoa! I don't know, man. Varus in this tournament hasn't been too hot. I am not too hyped about this. I'm not too hyped about the Varus. I'm hoping he runs further. He's European, so he's running further for sure. SK Telecom hovering Jace. Jace worked out one game, but the second game it wasn't that good. Seems like SK Telecom just want to pick their support later than they, as late as they can. I think. Oof! Bless my face. SKT need to just pick the Jarvan. They could also pick the Gragas. That's the obvious one, just picking jungle, because otherwise they would have been both banned. But let's be honest now. Misfits Gaming, game number 5. This is incredible. What a journey. Group stage. What a struggle. What a battle. And they deliver time and time again. Misfits now. What will they have as a response to our Jace in the mid lane? Not Jace in the top lane. What am I saying? Absolutely crazy. Going back at it. Thresh. Okay. They're going for the full risk bot lane. Full risk bot lane. Let's go. Too many bans that need to happen if they want to blind pick Blitzcrank. There's too many champions that are good into it. Thresh is going to be the blind pick. Let's see if they are the ones banning Rakan this time around. Trundle is a ban, okay. Misfits are going to look to last pick the mid lane here. SK Telecom are probably going to ban Cho'Gath second. And Misfits will have to pick something into the Jace. This is where Malphite comes in. I'm just kidding. Jace will destroy Malphite. But there's a lot of 80 damage right on SKT, so it might not be too terrible, but there's other champions that are better. I know that Jace was something that like Sion was played into Jace. Cho'Gath was the second ban of SK Telecom. There we go. Alright. No biggie. Misfits just need to pick their top laner. Maybe Shen. Shen into Jace could be a pick. Cannon, I think, is too dangerous. I think Jace destroys it. There we go. Shen is also safe. Let's see now what they complement this with in the mid lane. Will it be a Talia? Maybe a LeBlanc. I would love to see a LeBlanc here from mid lane. I think it would kind of put it together very neatly. Oh, Tam Coco. Tam Coco. I haven't seen Tam Coco in ages. Tam Coco. Holy shit. You know, this is giving me flashbacks. Tam Coco is coming in. Tam Kench can be quite fine into, you know, it's perfect into Varus and Thresh. You know, it's perfect. I don't think it can get better than this. I think definitely Tam Kench is one of the premium picks here. The bot lane of SK Telecom will have to play very defensive though. Orianna's out of the picture. SK Telecom, ooh, with the Talia. I like it. I like the Talia more. I think with Jace together, the last time they played Talia, it went to shit because Leona was just, you know, she was doing this to his bot lane, you know. So with that being said, you know, Thresh and Varus here are gonna push in Tristana and Tam, but I think Tristana and Tam should be fine, you know, they should be fine. And at the same time, SK Telecom will try to play into topside, play into the Shen, and this is, you know, we're back in the old meta. There's no Ardent supports here, there's no Ardent shit going on. So we're back in the old meta, and the old meta, you know, was this meta where playing into bottom is not that great pre-6. Misfits have very lethal combos that they want to go for here in bottom. They have the Varus ultimate, they have the Shen ultimate, they want to make commitments into bottom side. While SK Telecom just want to take the fight to Shen, make sure his ultimate is not that useful. SK Telecom's bot lane is just there to survive. Tristana and Tam, if they are even in this lane, they won this lane. And Jace wants to pressure the Shen, and Talia wants to also transition that pressure into Shen. So the last pick for Misfits, what was it? It was a Syndra, a Power of Evil classic. Power of Evil, what a season he's had. Misfits is definitely his place. You know, this second split was absolutely fantastic. Come on, Moose V. Why are you wearing Nikes with a suit, man? Not too happy about that. Alright. Got some insane graphics in there. How does this look like on stage? This is just... They don't see jack shit, right? They don't see this. Yeah. Oh, look at that huge peanut sign. That sucks because he doesn't get to play. Alright, Misfits. Their composition relies more on the early game than SKT does. You know, I feel like SKT, they still have this option to play very hard in the early game with Talia, but then Tristana in the late game is just going to dominate. Especially with Tam Kench. You know, Tam Kench is going to deny a lot of the ways they have to kill our dear Tristana. The Syndra ultimate might come in, and Misfits are starting off with some cheeky invades, but SKT, you know, Huni has been invaded on and died level 1 enough, you know, over in LCK. He knows what's up, you know. He just walks away the moment Shen is trying to... he's trying to just step into here, and Misfits now. Oof. I can't believe it. This is crazy. You know, I think SKT definitely have the better draft. That's a bad start, you know, having Boris draft. I think it's very reliant on Misfits, you know, win bot lane. You know, we've seen it happen in the past where Wolf and Bang screw up big time. So this might be a case where it happens again. Wolf is the most comfortable in Nami meta, you know. In range support meta, he's kind of a e-girl. No, I'm just kidding. But that is the meta he's most comfortable in. And, you know, he was still good in the Tam Coco meta. So it's not that big of a deal. You know, he won worlds during a Tam Kench meta. So we don't have to worry that much. Varus and Thresh down bottom. First word for SK Telecom. They are very strong in the invade here with the Jace and the Talia. This is something we saw the last game. Jace and Talia are just so powerful. The last time we saw this was against an Ivern. Ivern eventually went on to just oh. Well, Blank already finished the red buff, so he's punching away. He has EQ. He's gonna flash after Alphari. Alphari is gonna go for the first blood, and this is a bad start. Bad start. And there's a big problem here for Misfits. You know, they didn't place any vision, even though they went for the invade, which, well, you know, I like the fact that they went for the invade, because the last time they played against this combo with the Talia and the freaking whatchamacallit, the Talia and the Jace. They got invaded the same way. It worked out better for them that time, but this time around it ended up being really bad. Alphari starting taunt is also a big deal, and Blank just managed to secure the red buff in the bush. Misfits should have seen this invade coming, and I feel like they could have adapted to this. But the main thing here is that, sure, they can adapt to it and maybe start bottom side, but then the enemy team will just take it. And the main thing here is that this is something almost guaranteed that you can do. You know, with Jace and Talia, you're so strong level 1 that you can almost guarantee this. And then on top of that, you know, in mid lane, you know, Talia can push, and then you can just walk to defend your own buffs. Like, Jarvan doesn't mind taking red and then just taking another red and being fine like that. Smite was used by Jarvan on the blue buff. And holy moly, this is crazy. Good stuff for SK Telecom, massive start. TP back to lane with Boots and Doran's Blade. This is gonna put a lot of pressure onto Alphari. I like the fact that Huni already uses TP, because this means that him being back to lane means his TP is gonna come back earlier, around a better timing here, a much better timing, and he can also snowball this first blood advantage that he has over the Shen. And the main thing here is that, you know, Shen has no flash. Huni can potentially set up a dive here. This is like flashbacks to Longzhu versus SKT. Alphari is not that low under the tower, and him playing Shen is better than Cho'Gath for the dives. Cho'Gath is... ooh, alright. Maxilor coming in with his hog to pick up his own golems. And Blank is just punching away at the small ones, trying to secure some of them, but the stalemate is fine for both teams, and Blank just wants to go back into his jungle now and clear. I think Blank should have enough for his jungle item, considering he got assist money. Huni is quite low on mana, and Alphari is hanging on quite well here. He's hanging on, and Huni's HP is going to get lifesteal Nopto if he just keeps punching away at the creeps, but Alphari is playing this matchup very well. Like I thought he would be a lower amount of CS, or maybe high CS but low HP, but Alphari is keeping healthy, and you know, he's on a good diet here. Wolf is taking a lot of poke down bottom. Oh, Power Evil, ice cold. Ice cold Power Evil. Power Evil gets traded on though, so it ends up good for Faker anyway. He procs his Storm Raiders and just walks away from that. Maxo is trying to swing his flail at him. Blank is not taking any jungle camps. He's just maintaining like this high gang pressure play that he's on. And Maxo doesn't have any camps to take. So this is a situation which Maxo is happy with. Knowing that Jarvan doesn't take any of these extra camps that are up on his side means a great deal here. Blank comes in and just clears a couple of wards. That's also a way of getting XP, right? He's level 4 already. And Talia being in base forces Blank to back off. Syndra's also around. Shen ultimate is going to come online now, and all of a sudden the game will change. We'll have to pay attention here if Syndra is going to base or not. Talia is coming back to mid lane, but I think Syndra based quite recently considering her items. Fake comes in and Qs Maxlor a little bit. Trash also roaming in from bottom. Now looking at the CS numbers up top, Alphari is doing great. He's half HP, but Huni is going to slowly chip him down, and then eventually Alphari is just going to base and TP back into lane. Alphari has this advantage over him that he TP'd a little bit earlier, but Alphari is level 6 now, and he can commit into some play. So it's important that SKT just play it safe for now. They don't take any massive risks. Alphari TP's back to lane, and Alphari's been surviving in this lane very well. Like, all things considered, you know, his situation was horrible. You know, he grew up in the streets. That's what made him hard in this game. You know, he's playing very hard, and the flash comes in from Alphari. I don't think this dive can be happening anymore. Blank is on the enemy red buff. Sejuani's coming there. Faker lost a lot of mana, and Blank picks this up before Sejuani even gets to sniff it. Very well played. I think the timing of Sejuani was a bit off, and I think, if anything, SK Telecom shouldn't have went for the dive. They should have just went for the play where they just take the red buff. But they managed to do both. It was kind of risky. Maybe Jarvan should have committed to the top play as well, but generally speaking, the dive was hard to pull off, and Jace needs to base. Let's see now if Jace is going to save his TP. Shen is going to freeze the wave, and Jace is most likely going to lose like a full wave of CS here if he walks back. Let's see if he's going to TP back. He's going to just TP back to lane. He knows that his team wants to play into top side. The big advantage here for Misfits is the fact that Infernal Drake is up. So now without Huni on TP, I think there's two ways for SK Telecom to deal with this. Either they play through mid into bottom and just make a defensive play at all times, or they just make this hard play into top side. Alphari lost a lot of HP already. Huni, with his tier, is going to be able to wear Alphari down very easily. Maxwell level 5, Blank also level 5. Blank is just not doing his jungle camps, going towards the top side. Faker is also roaming here. He's going to set himself up for the gank on Alphari. Chase is going to hit the tower, and Faker's in position now. Syndra is already hitting the mid wave. They know something fish is up, because Talia should usually be in mid lane right now, but she's walking back and recognizing that Shen is far away from coming here, and she would just waste a lot of time if she waited for him. She's coming back into mid lane, and Talia is just making laps around top. So he's just pushing mid, taking mid wave, and then just walking towards top side, making laps around there. That's why it's so important to ping towards the side you want to play towards, because what you want to do at mid lane is you want to push your wave and then make laps. And then the moment you recognize that bot is fighting or bot is going to be a free kill, you go for it. So the lack of TP here for Huni is a big reason why Alphari is managing to, you know, and not Alphari, but Misfits are allowed to take this Drake for free. But to be honest, you know, if Misfits just play to their strength and play to the fact that they have a bottom that is going to be stronger in the fight, then they would secure it anyway. So SKT are just committing to the idea of putting Huni ahead, and it's working as of right now. Power of Evil now with an ultimate and a Q could potentially put Faker on low HP. Faker is running cleanse. He doesn't have a heal to help him out. Huni is gonna just secure the top tower while Misfits get the trade-off that they got the Infernal Drake. Let's see now if they can punish Faker. Faker is quite low. He has the cleanse, and Maxlor was quite desperate here, you know. I think it was a bit of an overplay. I gotta give props to Alphari though, how well he's playing the situation, you know. He's getting pressured a lot. He's playing against Jace. He kept relatively even CS numbers until Jarvan actually made an appearance, you know. It was like, it wasn't Jace versus Shen, it was Jace featuring Jarvan, straight out of Compton, boom. And then Shen was still, like, Alphari was playing this very, very well. I think Alphari, top class, you know. He's been playing freaking great this tournament. He reminds me a lot of Wonder. Wonder is, they are very similar as players, I feel. And you know, Wonder has had those games where he plays Kled and he maybe runs it down a little bit, but you know, it's a team game, and there's a lot of games where Wonder got criticized for, but in reality we played very wrong as a team, and he just tried to create something out of that game. And I think Wonder is a fantastic top laner. I think Alphari is very similar to him. The thing we need to look forward to now is Huni just pushing in top wave and then pressuring into the top side jungle. I think we will see like a bunch of EQs flying towards Power of Evil in the mid lane. See Faker's roaming towards bottom now, and they also spotted Sejuani on the top side ward. It's uncertain where the pig is at. I felt like the goal here for SKT is Huni roams into mid lane, and then with that mid lane priority that Huni creates, they just try to get some deep vision on bottom side and just play this game out. Because as long as they don't get any value from their champion picks here, ooh, dangerous game. Dangerous game is the name of the game. As long as Misfits don't get any value out of this Varus, any value out of this Shen, they're going to slowly deteriorate and decay and fall off in comparison to SK Telecom. And SK Telecom are very, very happy staying in this lane phase and this extended lane phase until they reach a good point for them to start contesting objectives. So the longer this lane phase is going on, they are more and more happy. So Huni is taking some unnecessary risks. You see Syndra is moving towards here. The slow from Alphari's Q is not going to be enough to keep Huni in place. He has Merc Thread, so he's going to get out of that very fast. Huni is going to eat some honey fruit. I could use some honey for my throat because my throat is done. It's dead, man. It's absolutely dead. Almost. Not. Sejuani being spotted around top side and in mid gives TamKench an opportunity to walk in and put some good wards down. You know, it's interesting to see a support with Sidestone first. Imagine what a world we're living in, you know. Thresh also with the Sidestone now. Incredible that Tristana is ahead on CS somehow. And, you know, this game will be very difficult for Misfits. The fact that the game is so stale is a big issue. And I feel like they need to start forcing around mid lane. They need to get priority around mid lane because Talia is pushing a bit too free. Especially now she doesn't have cleanse. Bang with the insect play. Bang gets stunned up. Bang gets killed. Huge lantern. Jarvan also gets killed. 2 kills. Now, we're talking about how the game is too stale for Misfits, and Misfits just pick up 2 kills, which is massive. Also, Power Evil survives with low HP. Bang used all his summoners. Wolves use Flash as well. I want to take a look at this situation once again. Let's take a look. They come in right here. Bang does the crazy play where he jumps in and then gets one-shotted by the Syndra. Wolf tried to flash and eat. Look at this rusty TamKench. You know, he hasn't played TamKench in fucking half a year. Look at him. That is crazy, man. I think if anything, you know, Bang's play is quite dangerous by itself. You know, it's quite dangerous. It's crazy right here how, you know, Talia's CC didn't land. Like, Talia's CC didn't land if maybe it was lined up better with the Tristana ult or something. Maybe if the coordination was better. Like, it's not like Tristana ult is some massive CC. It's more like a displacement more than anything. And the main thing here is, like, Talia knockup didn't work. Maxlow gets in here. Power Wheel gets lanterned out, survives. Also, the Shen ultimate is high 9. And this was a 4v4 situation that ended in favor of Misfits with 2 kills. The main thing here is how TamKench plays, and the more and more I just rewatch this, the less and less I like Bang's play. It's crazy, the Power of Evil, like, he's level 11, right? So he's level 11, has a powerful ultimate, and he just one-shots him with his hook shoes. I think Bang's play is way too reckless, and it's not like he has barrier and his support has heal, right? That's what's been the meta for a long time now, but Wolf also with his flash play, that was... Now this should be like on the fail flash compilation. So now, right now Power of Evil and Misfits are in a good position. I think they should just look to play through mid lane. Sejuani ultimate should be flying towards Faker, and just use the fact that Faker doesn't have flash. Force his cleanse. Just keep playing around mid lane. Because there is no chance in hell that SKT actually win a 2v2 fight in mid lane. There's no chance, especially when you have Shen on your side. So as long as Huni, you know, Huni's goal is going to be to pressure and then rotate, and that is it pretty much. Splitting the map is beneficial for SKT because they just want to sort this game out. Misfits wanted to play into top side because of Rift Herald, but they have to go into bottom because of the tempo swing that Misfits have, and them basing is enough to scare SKT away. SKT are now going for Power Wheel. He has no flash, no summoners. Blank gets ulted in, but Power Wheel has a lot of upfront damage here with all of this penetration. This null matching mantle no longer exists. because of power evil items. Misfits go into top side once again. They want to separate Shen from the team, and they want to pretty much just play into the Rift Herald here more than anything. I want to take a step back and just look at how SK Telecom managed to get such a tempo swing on bottom. Tristana is dead right now. She's walking straight into bottom. Replay transition into we don't know how they got pressure. Well, Tristana just walked bottom, and then Varus is up top. Jace manages to not do much. Okay. It just seems like it's a pure, like, Tristana is just better at pushing kind of thing more than anything. It's not like the blasting one is gonna help Hans Sama to hit the turret. So I think it's a question of itemization, a question of champion as well. Varus cannot use his spells on the turret, which matters of course. Power of Evil gets ulted, but Blank needs to kind of pussy out. Rightfully so, you know, he would have gotten Q'd and W'd, and then all of a sudden he's in ult kill range. So that's a big deal. Blank is just walking away. But it was very neat how Blank played it. Like, he ulted the moment Syndra E'd, and it was very clean and crisp. I think right now in the heads of Misfits, you know, the headlines are just fucking playing in their head. This is a mental battle, you know, this is really, really difficult to play on your standard level in a game number 5 against SK Telecom. You know, this is a moment that will go down in history. This is a moment that will be remembered and viewed by everyone in the entire freaking League of Legends scene. This is something that will be talked about for years to come. This is going to be so massive if Misfits actually manage to take this. If Misfits manage to get to semi-finals, if Misfits manage to beat SK Telecom, if Misfits manage to beat a Korean team, if they manage to destroy SK Telecom in the best of 5, the headlines, man, the headlines. Misfits, already now there will be massive headlines. Misfits, you know, they are all superstars already. Ignar and Hans Sama, like every single one of them have had standout performances, and I think it's been very impressive to watch them throughout. In this game though, SKT slowly chipping away. They managed to pick up a mid tower while I was talking. I want to take a step back here, and you know, Thresh and Varus are on the wait. Just during the time Thresh and Varus go topside, they walk topside to get the wave. Plain and simple, Jace is rotating into mid lane, Talia is basing, Talia walking topside, and then 4 man are hitting the turret. Okay. Is the issue here that Varus and Thresh are just walking topside? Like maybe Hans Sama and Igna should just be walking towards mid lane here since Syndra is basing. Because from this position there's no way they can get back in mid in time. They are basing. And SKT are just hitting away at bottom mid tower. But mid tower is falling so fast, like Syndra is nowhere to be found. Now I think Ignar and Hans Sama made a mistake here by not going into mid lane. Misfits should have walked into mid lane here with their bot lane and protected the next wave while Syndra's coming, and then after Syndra's coming get mid priority and then base again and then catch top. I think it would have been better. I just want to take a step back once again and just look at the priority from bottom. What happened here? Tristana and Tahm Kench. Yeah, we talked about that. Never mind, we talked about that. Oh, Talia will almost interrupt the Rift Herald. I think that's possible. SKT just keeping Tristana in mid lane, clearing waves with his static shiv. That's the beauty of YamatoCannon, right? That if YamatoCannon gets priority in your game and he can also ult both bottom and top, the game becomes super difficult. So they're putting Talia on side instead. I think the way SKT could play it as well is they just put YamatoCannon and Talia in mid lane. But Talia is a bit more reliant on the levels, but the levels are quite juicy as well for Tristana getting that solo XP. Ginsu's now finished. There's not a lot of tanks for Varus to hit here. Sure, there's the Jarvan, but we've seen how he likes to play. A lot of MR on him. We didn't talk about at all how much magic damage Misfits are bringing to the table, so MR as a stat is very effective. Ginsu's Rage Blade is... There's a lot of magic damage here on the Varus build, and SK Telecom picking up another tower. Not sure what happened here. Alfari is quite low on HP, he just goes for the base, and Huni is just hitting the bottom tower. I hate to say it, but after how early game went, and after seeing Bang being ahead in CS, it's hard for me to imagine Misfits coming back with this composition. Misfits still have like this period of time where they're quite strong, The main thing here for SK Telecom is they just need to reach breaking point on Tristana. That's what it's all about. They need to reach a point where Tristana can 1v9 this game. YamatoCannon's gonna peel her away from all the dangers. He's just gonna shield Tristana from the world. Tristana will think there are no wars. There's no wars, no starving people. Just shield Tristana from everything, and Tristana will just shoot away, and everything will be good. Misfits need to start getting active because Jason's side is also starting to become a massive problem where Shen cannot deal with it. I think Huni can begin to start like hitting those outer turrets, meaning inhibits turrets. I want to say outer base turrets, but I just forgot to add the word. Misfits, with the way they play, they are just grouping up around mid lane and not accomplishing much. They're not pressuring around Nashor, they're basing, and a big issue here for Misfits is that the SK Telecom are just farming out the side waves. Faker's just pushing out the side waves, not being punished, and Misfits are just kind of running after them. Misfits are not committing to an idea. The way they regain pressure in this game is, sure, they have to group up the way they did, but when they do, they need to take over the river towards topside, and then all of a sudden you can cut Talia off, and then you can send another person up topside to clear the wave, and then just play together, play fluidly and together. Because as it stands right now, SKT are getting priority everywhere, and it's really, really bad for them. SKT don't have like the super hottest Nashor team, especially with Jarvan not buying armor. But still, it's important that Misfits, when they get priority to play into topside river, they make sure that the person who goes top can push it all the way, because Syndra is never pushing it all the way. Misfits in general not pushing it all the way, and I think this is a problem for them. SKT is just farming way more efficiently. Way more is a bad way of putting it. Let's look at the situation. So the big issue here is Huni is out of position. Huni just pushed out bottom and he's trying to come from an angle, and he's going for the flash. Just going for it because there's a lot of hard CC that could land on him. Tristana is not yet at any breaking point. Like, I think Varus with these two items is stronger. I think Tristana needs another crit item to be completely there and be completely online. But this is an Infernal Drake. SKT want to contest it. Huni managed to get into a better position here, but that's an Infernal Drake for Misfits. Let's take a step back and look at how the situation kind of built up to itself. Syndra is walking down bottom. You know, I was talking earlier about how Misfits need to be able to push all the way. You know, of course, if Infernal Drake is open, that changes the fact, you know. If Infernal Drake is open, you don't need to care too much about top side. It being even and in an even position is good for you if you're the one taking the dragon position, because then you're not on a timer, you can just do it as you wish. The wave position up top now is perfect for Misfits, because Misfits are first to the Drake situation, and SK Telecom, of course, with the top wave, there is nothing that forces Misfits into a bad position. What I was referring to was more that Power Evil and Misfits, they are playing around mid lane, getting priority in mid lane, then they don't take over the river, and then through river take topside creeps and take a topside wave, and then after that maintain river control and keep pressuring both sides, because right now SK Telecom are just farming too freely. But with this one right here, Misfits, when Talia was showing up top, they did in fact get mid priority. Tristana is also on base, and the timing for SK Telecom when it comes to everything here is just poor. They're basing 30 seconds before Drake, which puts it too close. Like right now, they are just too late to contest it, and I think they should just have given up, because Misfits have such a superior position, and this is just a question of knowing your timings. By the look of it, Bang should have just based one wave before. It could be potentially that Bang didn't have money for something, because also in this case he's not necessarily getting priority, so it's not the best scenario for him to base. But after all, it's mid lane, so it's not too big of a deal. He can be there in time for the next wave, no issue, especially since mid tower has fallen. So I don't know if I like the cancel of his base right now. Like here, Tristana should just finish her base together with Tam Coco, and it would have been good. Instead, she stays for another wave, then she gets the IE, doesn't get anything else. Maybe she just needed money for IE. That could be a real thing. I think without IE is also not a good situation to fight in. But nevertheless, after that, you know, with the late recalls on Bang and so forth, it puts SKT in an awkward position here for the Drake, and Misfits are just taking it away. No biggie. It's just a question of recall timings here for Bang. Then they maybe could have just contested that space. To be fair, you know, still, I think Bang's range advantage is gonna be crucial in the later parts of the game, and it's a big deal that Misfits have two Infernal Drakes. You know, it kind of equalizes the gold differential, I would say, and puts Misfits in an more equal position. Man, my freaking chair sounds like a ghost house. Same thing over and over. Misfits just need to pressure mid, play into top side, clear the top side wave, push it in, while they keep control over river, and they need to force. They need to force, and they need to do it good. The longer this game goes on, the harder it will be to deal with the Jace, to deal with the Tristana. Very important to highlight. Whoa, Huni! Get stunned up and killed. Okay. So, instead of Misfits taking control of a Nash area, let's see what happens. I think they could have taken the aggressive path here. They could have taken the aggressive path, and right here they could step into here and clear vision already, and be like annoying in general, to delay the Nash play. So the reason why this works is they have mid priority, and in a case where they use this mid priority to actually take vision, because you know Syndra's not walking on wards here, I don't think they need to be so scared. They see 3 people in mid. Right here there are 3 people that are showing. Talia is in position, so maybe there could be like some insane wall off, so maybe there's some risk to it, but you know, there's 3 people in mid. Sure, there's Tamkench ultimate as well, but I don't know. I don't feel like it's too dangerous, especially they have Lantern and Summoners, worst case scenario. Alright, we continue on. Power Vivo goes to Rome bottom. Not 100% predictable. I think if Varus and Sejuani and Thresh were in a more aggressive position, I don't think that the enemy team would have known. Power Vivo gets the kill, and then right now SKT are just doing Baron. And they don't have the best Nash killing team here. Sure, Leandri's Torment. We said that the lack of armor on Jarvan is a big deal. There's no like beefy mother trucker that can just tank the Baron as he pleases. And this is a big deal. My chair is hurting my back, so I'm just lunging right now. Now I'm gonna go back to my chair. Ah. This was a creative way for Misfits to shake up the game a bit, you know, by doing this gank into bottom. And by the looks of it, it's hard for SKT to just do Nash straight up against Varus, Thresh, and Syndra. It's hard to engage on them, and as long as Misfits split up and Thresh doesn't get ulted, he can Lantern whoever gets ulted by Jarvan out, and this matters a lot too. And Misfits, on the contrary, you know, they have a much better Baron team. They have people that have itemized. Ooh, okay, Misfits. All right, Misfits. You know, I would just want to say that they have a way better Nash team than the enemy team. They have armor. They also have the damage of Varus, and Power Vivo very creatively solved this issue. Jace, I think he should have been in bottom. I'm not too sure why he was topside. There's the engage on Tamkench. Bang is doing plenty of damage onto Alphari, but Alphari has stacked a lot of armor because he's itemized against Jace. And Misfits are forced to go back, so this was the best case scenario for SKT here. Very shaky gameplay. And crazy that Huni is showing up topside, because Huni, I think he should be pushing bottom and pressuring bottom for as long as he can. And then, you know, if Huni is topside and dies to the Syndra ultimate and the Shen ultimate, you know, what is the punishment that SKT can do? Like, Power Vivo is where he's supposed to be. And it seems like SK Telecom just sent Talia bottom because of convenience. But I don't know if you should look for convenience here, you know. Either way, like, let's imagine Faker was the one catching top wave instead of Jace. He would have also died, most likely. The main thing here is that, you know, either way, whoever was sent top lane should have been mid lane instead and grouped up and been there to try to get some priority and force the enemy to show and then take over the river. But this game is crazy. This game is definitely crazy. Tristana just needs to get items. That is what SKT is looking for. Because Misfits, you know, they have a lot of CC, they have a lot of burst going on for them, and they can definitely like CC down someone very fast and shut this person down. Level 16 now on Power Vivo should be more impactful than Talia wall. Huni down bottom, not accomplishing much anymore. He's not really reaching any turrets, and Shen is just chasing after him. And now Syndra is also going for him. He's going back into mid lane. Alright. Misfits have a way better position for this Infernal Drake. Okay, I was getting spooked by people in the background. Misfits, okay. Crazy stuff. I'm losing track of the Drake spawning all the time, but the Infernal Drake is up, and Misfits are maintaining mid-priority. Looking like at this point in time, if Misfits walk up and threaten the engage, then it's harder for SKT to walk forward. Even though I think they have abilities to kite for a very long time, you know, even if Misfits try to engage, I think they have so many disengage tools, they have YamatoCannons, so I feel like they can walk up a bit further than they are right now. Huni is in a similar position as before, he's on the other side of the map, and Misfits have the superior position when it comes to this Infernal Drake. Maybe SKT should look to pressure Nashor instead of doing this, maybe pressure top turret, maybe pressure mid lane, because now Misfits have 3 Infernal Drakes, and Infernal Drakes are definitely keeping Misfits in the game. Even though they get outscaled here because of Tristana, I still feel like the Infernal Drakes are going to keep them in it. SKT are taking the decision to go into this Baron a bit too late, I feel. This is way too late, and SKT have to back off, and if they did this a bit earlier, maybe it would have looked differently, but I felt like this took a lot longer than it had to. SKT now on the back foot, they lose a lot of HP, and Misfits could be pressuring Nashor now if they wanted to, but they just want to deal with the top wave. SKT are now allowed to base. Quicksilver Sash ready on Tristana. Now this is a tussle, man. This is a crazy game. Misfits should feel very fortunate that the Drakes that are spawning for them are Infernal Drake, and it's crazy how that RNG is favoring them right now. But you know, the script is to Misfits win, man. That is the script. Tristana is starting to reach that point where she's gonna be like really powerful. She needs Last Whisper, and then, you know, Power of Evil is gonna look to ult him and one-shot him, but then YamatoCannon is gonna look to peel for him every time with his Solari, with his Eat, and that should be the goal for Wolf here. Faker's just gonna kite back, doesn't necessarily need a Void Staff, there's not a lot of MR on the enemy team, only the Spectre's Cow, and the Last Whispers, when they start showing up, is gonna be a big deal. Power of Evil has a lot of targets he can potentially burst down with his death cap. No Void Staff yet though, so if anyone commits to buying MR at this point in time, it's a big deal. The QSS makes a massive difference. Power of Evil, when he gets that Void Staff, is going to be super powerful as well. Misfits now straight up just starting Nashor. Talia wall. Nashor at 4k. Whoa! Power of Evil's gonna die. Power of Evil's gonna die. Ooh, heal. That was a heal from Hansama. He survived. My goodness, what happened here? What happened? So Power of Evil, his Twitter fingers didn't work out too well. You know, he ulted and Fake flashed away, and his stun didn't go off. No, but there was a ball in front of him anyway, so he should have gotten stunned there. And then Faker just cleansed and flashed away. And Faker survived with his Banshees because there's no Void Staff on Power of Evil. And then Blank comes in and he EQs out. And Bang almost just freaking one-shots to Syndra. Power of Evil also has heal, right? So he had to use heal on himself together with Hansama. So 2 heals used for Power of Evil there. And SKT managed to defend this. Absolutely crazy, man. Once again, same issue here. It's going to be hard to kill the Tristana. Tristana is going to be super effective, especially when she gets her Last Whisper. This game is going to change massively because Misfits, you know, right now, you know, since Tristana is not 1v9ing, they still have opportunities to kill the front line, to maybe pick someone off with the Syndra ultimate, but the further and further we go on, Tristana is going to become beefier and beefier. You know, in a lot of the matchups in this tournament we saw Tristana versus Twitch, Twitch versus Kog'Maw, Kog'Maw versus Tristana, and a bunch of this shit, you know. But right now, you know, with Varus and Tristana, it's a different thing. You know, with the Varus and Sivir, I mean, Sivir Tristana, it's also a very different thing. The Tristana range advantage matters so much more. Okay, I'm not too sure if I like this Vampiric Scepter. Vampiric Scepter is coming out, and also strange from Jace to buy Duskblade. Personally, I feel like Last Whisper is such an OP item here, and it seems like Bang maybe potentially just wanted to come out of base with the most amount of items. Maybe he couldn't afford the Last Whisper and just thought Vampiric Scepter is going to be way more efficient than the Longsword, so I'm just going to go for it and be as strong as possible for the upcoming fight. Because the next Nashor can just decide the entire thing, and this is... Oof, this is crazy, man. This is so crazy. Oh, it's crazy that I'm a bunch of minutes behind on stream, and holy moly. I am so hungry as well. I didn't eat breakfast. I just woke up at 10 AM and then just went for it. I spent last night playing Resident Evil a bit too long, and then I realized I have obligations. I have obligation to watch this, to witness this. Faker just surfs away. Misfits. Tough situation now. It's so difficult for them to deal with the Tristana. I don't know how many times I've said that in my broadcasts and everything that I've done. Absolutely crazy. Maxlor gets chunked out a bit, and now they're going to lose presence around mid lane. Huni is also becoming a problem on the side lane. Ay. Misfits is looking quite dark. SKT have played this so patiently, taking no risks at all, and right now they've reached a point where they are so powerful. Huni is destroying on side, and SK Telecom have the Tristana that they need. We have to pray now for Misfits to land some insane CC on the right targets, and for everything to just flow in their team fights, because Tristana on paper shouldn't be able to die. She should be able to have a lot of DPS output, and with that in mind, you know, this is Misfits are against the ropes now. They're Infernal Drakes is what has to do most of the legwork here. Infernal Drakes still matter, you know. These Infernal Drakes are freaking massive. Ignar getting caught off. These Infernal Drakes are great, right? I would love to see the AP numbers on Power of Evil. I think it could be like through the roof right now. I don't know, it could be like potentially like 650, something like that, and maybe 600 sounds more reasonable. 600. Oh! Okay, that's one. Alright, SKT just equalized it right off the bat, killing Ignar, and there's no Shen ultimate to support this. Alfari could TP in, but no Ignar, and now this is crazy. There's Elder Dragon up as well. Okay, so Bang is half HP. He has the Vampiric Scepter. He's gonna be able to lifesteal up Blank also. Very low HP. The Elder Dragon is massive for Misfits if they manage to get this. You know, the power of 3 Infernal Drakes and the Burning Drake is going to scare them Nasha. So it's all gonna come down to this. The Smite. Holy Blank. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. It's over. It has to be over. It's over. It's over, right? Yeah. Oh my goodness. This is crazy, man. Crazy shit. Like, Shen is dying 1v1 to Tam Coco as well. I don't know what's happening. Wow. Holy moly. I'm freaking speechless, man. Holy shit, man. That is fucked up. If Misfits get this Elder Dragon, the game is over. Holy moly! Let's take a look at this fight. Let's confirm if it would be over if Misfits just get this Elder Dragon. Shit, man. So this was like the saving grace. Huni getting caught. Bam. It was a saving call. All of a sudden, you know, Misfits trying to do too many things at once. Trying to check the Baron. They're scared of the Baron. They're trying to face check this area, and Thresh gets caught and killed. Thresh should use Blade Lantern together with Maxwell and use Maxwell's passive. Thresh gets caught, and that's a bad thing. And then Misfits getting trapped by this beautiful ultimate here. Crazy, crazy stuff here. This Talia wall is insane. Like, there's no flashes on Varus, there's no flash on Sejuani. Sejuani could Q, there's no flash on Power of Evil either. This one is absolutely crazy how well placed this Talia wall is. This Talia wall, it just flew by me. I got too caught up in this moment, and this game was just too exciting for me. Misfits managed to like maneuver their way into this, and Varus ult lands on Bang, and Bang needs to get eaten because Hansama did a lot of good damage there onto Tristana. And then it's also hard also to fight in that space because there was a bush and there was no vision. And then in this case, if Misfits are the one that get this, like I'm just thinking, is it a mistake that Power Evil stands here? Should Power Evil be together with the team? Should he be the one bursting together with Maxlord here? And then that happens. You know, after this happens, I don't know if Misfits should be looking for the engage or if they should just look for the trade like Power of Evil was already uses E and the E didn't do anything. I think it could have been a mistake from Power of Evil to be standing there in the first place, because I think he should be bursting together with Maxlord. They should burst together and just hit Nasher at a specific time and burst it together, and it would have been better. Because Power of Evil, like at this point in time, you know, with his item as a triple Infernal Drake, he does a shit ton of damage. You know, I think he does more damage than Smite if he uses like QWE, you know, and shit, man. Like, imagine if they're the ones with Infernal Drake. All of a sudden, this looks completely different. And then they could potentially fight this, and then Power Evil could keep his E, and then he could just ult, and it could have changed the game completely. Sure, maybe they still lose the fight here. You know, maybe like Wolf gets a massive eat off when it comes to Syndra's ultimate, and maybe they would still lose the fight here. But still, it's crazy how close it was. You know, Misfits needed a way back in, and Huni gave them that. And then Ignar got caught as well because they had to check Nasher, because when Huni was caught on top side and the enemy team sees that Syndra's top side, I mean bot side, then they need to check Nasher. They had no vision on Nasher, and of course Thresh was the one focused. I think Thresh had to play Lantern with Sejuani, and Sejuani needed to be the one doing the face checking. But all in all, like this game, trying to look back at moments where Misfits could have done more in the early game. they did get the first tower, and then there was like occasions where Misfits lost mid tower when they didn't need to. Then this kind of comeback situation that happened. Like the stalemate was definitely in favor of SK Telecom, and my goodness, what a series. I am really baffled and I'm really amazed. Like Misfits played their hearts out, man. They really played their hearts out, and I think, you know, it's still fantastic what they accomplished. You know, take fucking SK Telecom to game 5. You know, the stories people will tell. You know, if Misfits played this team, they would win, you know. And then, like, when SKT win Worlds with a 3-1 or some shit, you know, when they play against Samsung or RNG, and then maybe they beat them, and the stories will be Misfits. Misfits took them to 5 games. They took them to 5 games. And my goodness, blank with steel. Not too sure if Misfits would have just won if they had that. It would have definitely increased the chances in that last fight. But Jace was coming in from a good TP angle, and Tristana was also at critical mass. You know, with full items. But wow. I think a big problem here for Misfits was that they played too little through mid lane. I think in this game, if they played through mid lane a bit more when Shen had ultimate and reached level 6, even though Faker has cleanse, I think you still need to try. Like the 2v2 in mid lane should be in favor of Syndra and Sejuani, and on top of that they have the Shen ultimate. So it's very important that they are very active, get mid lane priority, transition that into top to alleviate pressure, maybe even gank Huni off of that, and then maybe even pressure into bottom, because the early game was way too inactive, and Talia had wave priority, and she didn't get pressured at all by the Shen ultimate. And this was a big problem for Misfits. They gave up first tower for SK Telecom, and they should have contested this more heavily. And I feel like Misfits, with their Syndra pick, with their Sejuani, with the Shen, they should be able to get mid priority, pressure the Talia in, make sure that Talia isn't the one making the plays, because Talia was constantly roaming to top side, and then looking at the CS numbers, it's not evident at all. Talia was perma roaming, and Syndra had nothing to say about it. And SK Telecom, obviously they got a good jungle start. Maxlore got his red stolen away from him. This matters. Alphari also died in the level 1, and you know, Alphari played the 1v1 against Huni very well, phenomenally well. And Misfits, what a journey they've made. You know, what a journey they've made. But I think, you know, in general, we can honestly say that the gap is closing. Dum dum dum. Misfits, big props to you guys, big props to the organization. I've heard nothing but good things. Props to the coaching staff. What a fantastic coaching staff. You know, you always talk about how you can't see things from outside, but the amount of preparation that Misfits have shown that they can do when it comes to series and patches, you know, not only at the World Championship, but in general, I think it goes to say that you have to give credit to this coaching staff. You know, this is not hidden at all. This is in the open, that this coaching staff is fantastic. And the players, what a journey they've made throughout this season. You know, Maxtor coming from freaking Rocket, or whatever freaking hole he was in before. Maxor was a player I was interested in. Maxor always came across as very hardworking, and he always came up with new ideas. And I think innovation is a big part of being a good jungler. And Maxor is very creative in the way he plays. Alphari, he's playing every type of top lane that you can imagine in the top lane, and mechanically he does it very well. The lane phase is very strong. Power of Evil has had the best split of his life. You know, he's been around for a very long time, and Power of Evil was somewhat, for some time, was a bit of a meme to me. You know, when he was in Unicorns of Love, and then like Origin times, it was like sub expect in, and now Power Evil is shining. Like Power Evil has played insanely well this entire split. I think he was one of the best performing mid laners in the regular split. Hansama and Ignar coming into this tournament, I thought they would be a weakness. I think they were definitely exposed against G2, but they played out of their mind. They were playing, you know, the way they want to, and it was amazing to watch. You know, Hansama was performing, and he was playing well on the grand stage, and Ignar with his champion pool, with the Leona, with the Blitzcrank, they did incredible things. And I think Misfits deserve nothing but respect, and I think I don't even think it needs saying, because Misfits are gonna be they're gonna come out of this as heroes. So that ends the chapter for Misfits. Let's move on to another day. Thank you guys for watching. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Peace.